Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I was just reading this article talking about how Sweden has become the most cashless society out there. One of the things that I found interesting in the article is that the demographics of people from 18, I think it was 18 to 30 or 34 or something like that, has either never or rarely used cash. And I thought, how could you have never used cash? Like, I was trying to think about that for a little bit. It was just like my entire life, if I was even 18 years old, to think that I have never went to the store and put a dollar bill like on the counter or put any kind of change on the counter. Or to think like opening up an envelope, like getting the birthday card from grandma or something like that has a $5 bill in it. Like, I cannot imagine what life would be like not having some sort of cash in the system. But yet, it's commonplace for a lot of people where it's just, it's no big deal. Not using cash is like the norm. In fact, using cash becomes the obscure. And what I found interesting is that in this article, they do have the one main point about going completely cashless, to go into a 100% digital form of transaction. And that is what happens if the power goes out. Like, all of a sudden now, if there's a breakdown in the system, now all of a sudden you have no way of doing a transaction. And then they say even like in remote areas, like if trying to do a transaction in somewhere where you may not have like internet access or capabilities of using a digital form of transaction. And so there's like no real, they're working on these concepts on how to deal with it. And they're saying there's pretty much no real way of being able to come up with a currency, have a currency 100% cashless and still be able to manage these type of transactions during these events or situations. And so after I got done reading the article, I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking, well, if you go 100% cashless, that is going to force the people into finding something else to use. Like, they won't have any other choice. And it's going to go to silver. It's going to go to silver dimes. It's going to go to silver pieces. Because you don't have anything else out there. If there's no digital form of transactions and there is no cash in the system, there is nothing else out there that will work. It's almost forcing people into a gold standard. I was reading an article about how Turkey is trying to get the people. Like, Turkey is one of the most gold abundant countries out there, if you can believe it. Like, as far as, I don't know about like necessarily in volume, but as far as disbursement, like, a lot of the people in Turkey have gold, and they have it as a hedge against inflation, against currency collapsing. And these banks over there, they're trying to get the people to pull out their mattress gold, if that's even a real term for it, but that's what they were kind of calling it, at least in the article that I was reading, to try and get people to start spending this or to deposit it into the banking system, to try and tap into this savings that people have with all their gold that's sitting at home. There's a lot of moves right now inside of the currency system. There is a change taking place. And a lot of people see it inside of digital currencies, and I do as well. I see digital, like, especially like central bank digital currencies. I see those coming into play. I see a lot of people who recognize what's happening here and start using more of the decentralized distributed ledgers like Bitcoin or, Litecoin or whatever, XRP seems to be the most popular one anytime I ever talk about banks using a digital currency. I am personally waiting now. I've done a very small amount of research on XRP, on Ripple. But from what I can find from it, when I can see the digital currency being used, like, I mean, there's a lot of people who say it's already being used, and okay, that's cool. What I am looking for is that confirmation from the other side, from the people who are in the banking system, saying that I recognize Ripple as, as the next form of digital currency transactions between banks. I'm looking for that kind of confirmation, not from the people who are are pro Ripple, who are saying no, it's already taken place. I get it, I know. I'm looking from the other side. I want those guys to say it. I want that confirmation from it. And that's what I want to see. But ultimately, when it goes to a cashless society and you have nothing else for the people to use, they will go to the next best thing. And it's going to be gold and silver. I mean, what else can you have during the time? It's just like, hey, when we come through this, what do we have on the other side? We have the silver, we have the gold. Okay? And if the power goes out, it works. If the power stays on, it works. No matter where you go, it works. It's forever. All right, I got to go back into work. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.